All right, so next we have plank. Let me get some water. So this is usually something I like to do right after the cat-cow pigeon because the hammock's already really close to the ground. Okay, and we want the hammock to be below the knees for plank. Refueling, okay. So as I'm sure all of you know, if you want to build up heat in the class really quick, and if you want to get the heart pumping and the sweat going, plank is the answer. So, here up here. Same thing as before. We're gonna come down in front of the hammock, and they may already be here from the last posture. Okay. So from tabletop, I like to bring a lot of attention to the placement of the hands and the arms too, because when we activate the arms correctly, it makes everything a lot easier, or a lot more stable, I should say. So spread the fingers nice and wide. Pretend like you have dials in your hand and you're dialing them inward, energetically. They're not moving, but energetically we're moving them like we're opening one jar and, you know, tightening another, if you will. And when that happens, usually I say, you know, somewhere around the third finger facing forward. As we activate the arms by dialing the hands inward, the pits of the elbows face each other. And when the pits of the elbows face each other, the arms get really strong and stable. Okay, so you can try that if you want. And then we put the right ankle in, and then we put the left ankle in. This is why we want it close to the ground. We want it below the knees. So then they always have the option to come to their knees. They're not in a situation where it's too high off the ground and they're going to injure themselves. Okay? And then from here, we're engaging like the Uddiyana Bandha and the Mula Bandha, and we're lifting the hips, lifting the knees, coming into plank. So you can keep them here as long as you want, and I'll show you some other things you can do with plank. So, you know, you can give them a little speech here, whatever, if you want them to hang out. Or you can give them options. On the exhale, bring the knees into the chest. Inhale them out. You can do that multiple times if you want. Or you can turn onto the right ankle and exhale the knees into the left tricep. Inhale them out. Back to center. Exhale in. Inhale out. Left side. Exhaling, crunching in. Inhaling out. And you know, you can just play around with that. And you'll know when your class is wearing out because they're going to come down to the knees. And so I always tell them to come down to the knees also whenever their body's telling them to. Because plank can be a lot. The more advanced version of that is a side plank. I don't really have the consistency in classes. You know, it's just very rare that people can do it. But you know, when you have this at home, you can play and like build your practice and, you know, see how that goes for you. But see if I can do it. It's been a while. I know. So we're trying to find a balance in plank. The right hand comes to the center of the mat, come onto the right ankles, and everything's moving. Everything's moving. So, and then bring the left hand up. So that's another option you can do if you have like an advanced crew that needs some more. And then the other side, of course. So there's some plank variations. A lot of times when you're in plank, I will say something like, because I want them to hang out there for a minute. You know, these poses that we're in, the longer we're in them, the stronger we get. You know, honor your strength here. Push the earth away. There's things that we feed will grow, including, you know, how long we're in these postures, and, you know, just the stronger we get. Don't make up any stories that you can't do this because you're already doing it. So release the stories. Our mind gets really busy when the body gets challenged. So just notice the thoughts. Don't attach yourself to them, and return your thoughts to the breath. So, you know, There's all kinds of dissertations I can give them to keep them in plank. So you can expand on any of that, or give them a motivational talk while they're in plank, and until you start seeing all the knees come down, it's like, okay, we can move on now. All right, so that's plank.